Again,
the stuff that happens behind the scenes, you guys would be surprised what we do before we come on live, but maybe perhaps one of these days, I will share that with you. But tonight, this evening, it's tax time. And as a small business owner, sometimes we don't always do what we're supposed to do, but it's okay. I have somebody who's going to help us get it together. First of all, I got to play the intro. Hold on. Gwendolyn, G.R. Houston Jack. Whew, that's a mouthful. This is Small Biz Bites. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We are streaming live this evening to Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, all three of those. And as I always say, if you happen to be on YouTube right here, right now, or watching in the replay, I would love it if you would like, share, and subscribe, because we are bringing mad experts to the table. Oh my goodness. Tonia, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. I'm good. How are you? I'm so excited to be here.
Woo! Okay, so I got to tell you, I've got my paper. Okay. I got my pen. Okay, because I am ready. I am going to somehow be able to host this talk and take notes. It's going to be something new for all of us, but we are going to find out if I can do it. But first off, before I go too far, we got people in the building. We have my mother. Now, mother was a little slacking last Friday. It's okay though. She's gonna come back and be like, bam, I'm back. I'm the first one. Hello, mother. Shout out to Gary Jackson Jr. Shout out to you, sir. Love to have great accountability partners here. And we have 𝐒𝐸. I'm going to go ahead and give all of you, I'm going to put them in New York, all of yous, your flowers.
Mm-hmm.
When you truly take the time to talk to people, engage with other people, you will be surprised the geniuses that fall into your environment. Man. We have clips from 𝐒𝐸's Small Biz Bites interview playing right now on my Instagram channel. They're also playing on YouTube. I highly suggest, if you have not watched it, that you watch it. Just gems, just dropping. Kind of like Easter eggs, just dropping. But before I get into all of that, because I really want to leave time for this conversation, Tonia, you ready for the fast five?
Okay, I'm ready.
You ready? Okay. Question number one. Now, for those who have not been here, because I do all kinds of stuff here, fast five questions. You answer either or, And crowd, feel free to chime in because we love to get whatever you guys are thinking too. Okay, number one, Tonia.
Yes.
Apple or Android?
Apple. As I'm holding my iPad over here so it doesn't fall. But Apple.
All right. I'll take this. Okay, it's good. Half marathon or marathon?
Good one, because I've done a marathon and I've never done a half.
What? Never?
Yes, I've never done a half. So I'm going to say half.
Wait a minute.
Right.
Time out. How did that happen?
Because I was one of those 5Ks to marathon. I know. So this year I'm going to actually try and do my first marathon 2023.
Okay.
So not 2023, 2003. So
really? In 2003, that was your first? Really?
Yes.
Oh.
So I'm going to try and do my first half this year. I'm excited.
I like the half. if I have to pick, a really good distance, I love a 10K.
Ooh,
right? It's like you go up, you come down, and you're done.
Yes.
You know what I'm
out,
saying?
in and out. Because it's a good race, but yeah, you're in and out. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like, that first mile, you are literally cussing yourself out. Like, why did I pay for this? Exactly. And I've only gone not even a quarter mile yet.
Exactly.
You get to mile 3, you're like, okay, now I'm feeling it. Okay.
You're warmed up now.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Right. Okay. Focus.
Oh, sorry.
White wine or red wine?
Red wine. Malbec.
Red wine. Okay. 3. Dine in or dine out?
Seeing as I can't cook too well, dine out. I try.
Right,
I try. I really do.
Tries. Here is the one.
Oh.
Here is the one that's going to break the bank, and I want the crowd to answer as well. Are we doing Michael Jackson or Prince?
Prince.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Prince all day, every day. Michael Jackson was a genius, but Prince, I just identify a little bit better with what Prince was singing. That's all I'm gonna say.
See, you know, that first answer, I was like, I guess. You brought it back. Talking about Prince. Yeah. Love how our crowd gets into it. Gary's like, she got that one wrong. That's Android.
Gary.
But Aissa's like, Apple all the way in half.
Thank you.
And she also says you have to do a half to get to the full marathon, though.
I thought about that too.
So technically, yes. Technically, but you don't stop. You go all the way. And it is that 26.2.
Ooh, Lord.
If you don't do the 0.2, it don't count.
26.2.
26.2 is like, I'm almost there. Yes. Yeah. And if I may, highly overrated. I'm just going ahead and say it.
I was trying not to say that. That was the reason why I was like, oh, the marathon is fun. Each time I did it, I was like, that's it. Okay.
No, you're good.
It.
Nope.
So I want that half.
Yeah, half is great. You got 13.1 B and bounce. Hey, we've got Ron Foster in the building. Good evening to you, sir. And looks like, okay, Ron, say Prince. Okay. Yes. Gary's like, Prince, she's the key word. We got to work on that first answer. My mother said Michael Jackson. I'm not surprised. Great. Yeah.
He's a genius.
Mother is a Michael's fan. I mean, that's I can see it. I can see it. Isola says Prince as well. Ross says Michael's an alien.
Genius, as most geniuses are.
Oh my goodness. And of course, we got a little Apple Android battle going on. I used to ask Gary why he's hating on Apple. You know, fruit, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but
I have an Android too. There's some things you can do with the Android that you can't do with Apple, but it's more Apple. I just love Apple. Oh my God.
You know, I appreciate Apple.
Yeah,
I do. I mean, everybody has their brand favorite, and so you know, it is good. And once you get into, I believe, a person's ecosystem or a company's ecosystem, it just kind of becomes what you know. So
yeah, and that's what it was. It's just that I know it better. I think that's it. I know it better. Yeah.
So now that we have figured out that you are a Prince fan who likes to dine out, drink red wine, will do a half marathon, and does love Apple products, Tonia, who are you? And where are you in your small business owner journey?
Well, career-wise, I am a trademark and business attorney and fitness professional, and I'll put that in and it'll make sense later. I am actually rebranding. So if you can imagine what I already said, I've been a dog trainer too. So let me tell you where I am in this journey. I'm in that rediscovering, but everything that I'm doing now, I did in 2017. So we're backtracking to move ahead. And I guess the best way to put that is I am in my rejuvenation, reignited stage, where I have found out what I'm really good at and what I love and what benefits others. And it's the sweet spot. And sometimes it takes a minute, especially when you've done a few things. I don't want to say so many things, but things that are so disconnected. So one of the problems, you know, we always talk about the people who are multi-faceted, multi-talented, multi-passionate. And it tends to be hard for people to figure out what they want. But, you know, you're talking about someone who went from law to fitness. Those two don't really correlate, but there's joy in both and you can make impact in both. And it took me a minute to figure out that I could do both and feel good about it because, you know, you tell somebody a fitness instructor, yeah.
That's the part that I wanted to hear because depending on what era you come from, we were pretty much told you pick one career, you do that one career your entire life, and that's all you do. And the fact is, we have many gifts to be shared. Why sleep on them? If you can manage the two, do all the things, Exactly. That's awesome. So I love that you are in that season in your journey.
Yes.
And I love that you have decided to give us your time as a person who understands trademark law and small businesses, protecting the brand. I love how you are going to give us just some highlights for all small business owners. And I want to say this, people. You are going to get general information. I don't need y'all acting like you've had a consultation or have really spoken with someone. All right. So we'll make sure that's clear. But the info given is very valid. And I want to get right into it because you have a lot that I want everybody to share to get from you. You have 7 points for us this evening. And this first point touched my heart. Touched it. It's like, wow. Legal protection is a form of self-care, ma'am.
Yes.
I'm gonna let you speak on that one. I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna go ahead.
This is so important because when you know that you are legally protected, when you have your ducks in order, then one, you have less stress. That's one. You have more confidence. That's two. You just aren't all over the place. So chaos is gone. So when you think about it, you're just more relaxed. You are able to serve more. You are able to innovate more. You are able to just be you. When you are worried about, am I going to get shut down? Do I have this in order? Is someone going to sue me? Is someone going to ask for their money back? Is someone going to get hurt? Did I put this out right? And this is all the things that, you know, so many businesses have to deal with, but particularly because, you know, there are a lot of things that you can do in your business and kind of move around and everything. But when we're talking about legal, you will get fined. You will get penalized. You will get shut down. Okay. At the most, at the least, which is annoying in itself, is that you're going to have customers complaining about things that they will tell you, I know my rights. This isn't right. This is wrong. You don't have time for that. You know, if they have legitimate things that you need to respond to, yes, but you don't want to have to go around wondering, okay, maybe they do have rights. Maybe they are right. Maybe I didn't put this together. Knowing that you have your legal, that you're protecting yourself, you're protecting your business, and you're protecting them. Let me tell you, you inhale. What do they say? Inhale confidence. You exhale all of that other mess and stress and chaos. So it is the best. You're not self-doubt. You're not trying to scheme, look around, figure out what's going on. You are in your best place. You are living your best life because you're like, okay, I got myself together. The coins are coming. Because when you have your legal in order, the coins come. That is there for you to get the coins. Know that. So
know that.
Yes.
Sweet. All right, let's get deep. Now, I will say this, if you guys have questions, it would be so awesome if you put like a Q before your comment so that we can make sure that we get your questions. So this we see very often. It's the co-mingling. It is put those eggs in different baskets, separate personal and business matters. And it's tax time. So I am certain there are people out there trying to figure out what's what, but there's a way to not be in that boat.
All right. Now, I don't know if we're going to touch on this because this is one of the things that people do. They're what I call my LLC people, but people will get their businesses and they're like, oh, I have my LLC. I'm protected. I have all of this. You do not have protection if you don't treat your business like a business. You have to separate the personal matters. You definitely have to separate the funds from your business. And this is just for you because one, you start commingling everything. You can't figure out what's going on, who's paying what, what's not being paid. You need to know where your money's coming in and out of. Not to mention the IRS will get you. So you can let it be known, you know, in whatever capacity. But I know sometimes people are like, well, I can't, you know, necessarily maybe get a business account. Okay, that's fine. I'm not saying you need to get a business account. I'm saying get 2 separate accounts. It could be with the same bank. That doesn't matter. It's just that, you know, whatever you're spending on for your business is for your business. Whatever you're getting is for your business, because there are 2 things that can happen. Yes, you'll get in trouble for the way that you're keeping your books. It's harder. Second, you'll see whether you're funding your business. And I like to say, you know, your business doesn't need a sugar mama or a sugar daddy. Your business needs clients. So if you are steadily commingling your money and putting all your money into the business, you're basically having the sense of paying for people to patronize or buy from you. But most important is that you really need to understand business and personal. And I'm going to say matters too. So I'm going to go in with the car. So when you're driving your car and you're driving it for your business, you need to write down, this is for my business. If you don't have a company car, for fitness people, you know, sometimes they have to buy clothing or things like that, and music and the like. If it is for your business, you need to separate that. Because these are write-offs. You won't know that if you're like, oh, well, I'm in Target anyway. I'm going to get these pants. I'm going to buy this or that are really for your classes. Then you've spent your money on your business, and that money should be coming out of your business. So, 1, protect yourself, make it be a business, because otherwise, you know what's going to happen. And I touch on this a little bit when we're talking about having that liability, when you get your LLCs, your corporation. If you don't separate those 2, when someone decides that you're not doing what they wanted you to do and they come to sue you, they're going to go after your personal assets. And you're like, how can that be? They can't go after my personal assets. Yes, they can, because you've commingled your money, you've commingled your matters. So it's not a business. So they're like, well, the money came from this account too for your business. So let's go into your nice little bank, your kids' college fund, the house, that trip to Barbados, wherever you're going, Turks Caicos, that's where we're going nowadays, isn't it? Yes. So wherever you were going, you can forget that. You're not going anywhere. Your babies aren't going to school because now you're being sued, and they're taking the $2 you made in your business as well as that $200,000 that you've been saving. Because it's when they say back in the day, if you heard the pierce the corporate veil, but it's you've made it so that there's no separation.
I was just thinking, I know people do have this, I don't know if it's fear or they're a little hesitant on getting the checking account. I have found there are now more banks that have either 0 fees for a business account or a very low fee, but that's the one where when I talk to people, a lot of them are still putting everything in one bucket. They're just getting started, and so they're pulling from the personal, and it's like, if you could give someone, I'm just going to say general advice, how soon should they go ahead and make that separation?
Right away. Before, because you have to pay for your registration with your state, whatever municipality, whatever government entity. So you're going to have to pay for that. That's going to come out. And I know there are some times where you're starting a new business. If we're talking small business, you may not have the funds, right? You may have some issues with your credit, and they may not feel that your business is on the up and up enough to give you a business account. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You're just going to get another personal account. The key is that you have 2 separate accounts. So if you can get, especially those banks that give you the 0 fees, fine, just open up another account. They don't care, they'll let you do that. Even if you have to do a savings account, because they'll still give you a debit card or the like, right? So you're going to use that. You are going to do this. And everyone, again, I'm an attorney, not an accountant, but I'm going to tell you how not to get in trouble legally. You're going to put in money. So you get a certain amount of money that you say that your business needs. I hope you were doing your budgets and your expenses, and you're figuring that out when you're putting your business together. So do that first. Then say it's $500. Take $500, put it into that account. Then what you're going to do is you're going to write down that you gave yourself $500. Okay, because what are you doing? You are loaning money to your business. Are we not loaning money to our business? Where does money come from? Business didn't get it out of the air, right? So you are giving your business a loan. Your business needs to pay you back. Okay, so make sure your business pays you back. Tell your business when it owes you money. All right, so if it's February, I'm going to say, I'm giving you $500, business. I want my money back in August, business. Yes, you're talking to yourself, but you're talking to your business. I want August 31st. You're going to pay me back. You don't pay me back, this is what's going to happen. Okay. Yeah. But you want to you separate those accounts. You put money into that account. Now, if you have to keep putting money into an account, there's 2 issues with that. Remember, I said we do not want to sugar mama or sugar daddy our business. So that means we need to do something to get money flowing from the business. But if you have to do that again and you're loaning yourself money, what are we doing? We're writing down that this is a loan. You want to be paid back. Because if you don't do that, what does that look like again? You're moving money just back and forth, because you might need that money, and then you can't pull it out of that business without the business giving you a payment. Okay? When you write down, again, accountant, not an accountant. Talk to your accountant, your financial advisor. But legally, listen to me. You just can't throw money in there and that's it. There has to be a reason why that money is flowing from you, or whoever it's coming from. You are investing in your business, right? Yeah. So what happens when someone invests in your business? If it's a gift, you say it, but people want their money back, return on investment. So you say what happens. And that's what's important.
Oh, man. Okay. That's...
I had to learn that the hard way there. Yeah. Because when it comes to tax time, and they're like, well, where does the money come from? Then write it off. I can't do anything about it because it's income to the business at that point. Yeah. Because they see it as income to the business. Like, what are you saying? Well, somehow, I don't know how you got this money, but it's income. So you didn't say it was a loan. So there you go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did I freeze up a little bit? Oh, there we go.
All right. So sidebar there, please. Get an accountant, get yourself an accountant as well as a small business lawyer. Let's look at contracts are the lifeblood of your business. Now, I have seen, especially in the photography world, I have met people who are like, I don't need contracts. I don't see the point of having them, but I have watched more than enough Judge Judy and People's Court to know I need contracts. So
contracts are the lifeblood lifeblood of your business. Listen to me when I say that, because that is what creates your protection. That when you have a contract, and there are 3 parts to a contract, any contract, doesn't matter what industry you're in. It's offer, consideration, and acceptance. You need those 3. Offer, consideration, acceptance. I offer you my legal services in consideration for all your money, and you accept that. So we have a contract. We are good to go. That is the basis of a contract, right? It doesn't have to be in writing, but we are savvy business people, so we are always going to have it in writing. But this is what you're going to have. Those 3 things I gave you, not enough. The who, the what, the where, the why, and the how are going to be in there, because your contracts are what help you mitigate damages, eliminate disputes, because it's in there. This is what you were going to get. This is what I offered you. I offered you my services. I offered to give it to you at a certain time. I offered to give it to you in a certain way. I said that this is why I'm offering my services to you. You said, yes, I agree to that. I'm going to give you money. I accept this is how it's going to go. This is particularly important because money. You need to tell people what you're doing with their money and whether they're going to get it back. And this is the problem. So think of, the contract at the most. It'll help you from your disputes. It'll help you figure out if someone says, no, well, I paid you for X, Y, and Z, and you didn't do X, Y, and Z. You're going to pull out your paper and you're going to say, oh, no. Here's everything that we agreed upon. You said it was okay that I gave it to you in 30 days, not 10 days. I know you wanted it in 10 days. I asked you if you wanted it in 10 days. You said no, 30 was fine. You signed on the line. The thing with contracts is that they take care of the he said, she said, the I said, you said, okay? Because it's all there. They help people understand what they're supposed to do. Because a lot of times people don't know what they're supposed to do. But you put that in there. When I do this, if you're a coach, particularly for coaches, right? When I give you something to do, I expect that you show up for your sessions. I expect that you do what I ask you to do. That's a part of the contract. Now, I'm telling you the parts of the contract, but the key is that you have to have the right contracts and you have to contract with everyone. And you actually have to know what a contract is. I gave you the elements of the offer, consideration, acceptance, but there are things that you have in contract, like your privacy laws. And maybe we'll talk about that later, but that's a contract. You are giving me your information, and this is how I'm going to protect it, how I'm going to keep it. Intellectual property. I am allowing you to use my business name. I am allowing you to get a copy of my workbook that I made for us in our session. And what you're going to do is you're just going to utilize it for your personal uses. It's little things that we don't think of as particularly contracts. We're thinking of these long documents. And this is what I really want to say. When you, get a contract, read it and make sure you understand what someone's asking of you, what your responsibilities are. If you don't understand, do not be afraid of asking questions. We're talking about what? Legal, having your legal ducks in a row, being protected is self-care. Okay, so I don't understand what's going on. I need to know. Explain to me, because you could be messing with my peace. You may be messing with my money. I need to know what's going on with my money. I need to know what's going on with my peace. I need to know where my energy and my time is going. That contract will tell you. You give out a contract, you think you gave somebody paper and they signed it and it's fine. If you didn't make sure that they halfway understood, I mean, you should do more than halfway, but they better understand that contract, you don't have an agreement. And that's the thing of like, I don't want to put this in, but like if somebody confesses to something, but they didn't do it, it was just that they were being coerced, really, that's basically what you're doing. If you don't make sure that the other party, the other person, whoever you are going into this contract with, if they kind of don't understand what they're doing and they sign it, and especially if you're looking at them and you're like, you don't really understand this, do you? Don't be that person, because it's going to bite you in the buns. Because when they sue you and then you go to Judge Judy, look, when you want to talk about legal stuff, Judge Judy will teach you. but if you don't understand it really, then that's going to be an issue when they're suing you, that, the judge is going to look at that. Well, you signed it, yeah, but did you understand it? Is it a lot of mess in there that didn't need to be in there so you wouldn't understand it? So you understand the contracts you're getting, and you make sure that whatever contracts you're giving out, that person understands what they're signing, what they're supposed to do.
I was just thinking the other day, I was chatting with my husband, and I was just thinking about, like, when we download software, it is chock full
Apple
of terms, agreements, conditions, all the things, and they make you read it all the way to the bottom before you can say, I agree. And I feel as if, since we have so much software in our lives, so many apps, that when we get to a contract, we really should be reading all of it, like, truth be told. But when we get to a contract, like for your wedding or for a venue, we kind of skim over stuff and we don't read all the fine print that really needs to be read. So that's a great point about not only reading it all, but understanding what you're reading. Now, I know for myself, I use the contract. We also sit and talk about stuff in layman terms. Let's say, here's the deal. You are getting X, Y, Z. I'm going to bring bottled water, blah, blah, blah. Like, we talk about it, because people really do just sign or initial something and they just don't stop to ask questions and say, well, what exactly did I just sign? And because I always get are my images ready? And I already told you not to text me about that stuff.
See?
We already talked about it. I don't even know why you even contact me about, like, where are your images? Come on now. We already talked about it. Like, don't. But before we go too far, we are with Tonia Fisher of Tonia Fisher IP Law. She is giving us some real good basic legal information for small businesses this evening. We want to welcome her in, as well as our crowd. We have Dr. Tachi here in the building with us. So shout out to Dr. Tachi there. Ron says wisdom is in the room. Yes. Now that goes for both. So Dr. Tachi she got some stuff there. Hey, I am going to, Erica Payne is also here. I'm going to start your question, Erica. I want to come back to that. So thank you for sharing your question. Again, if you guys have questions, go ahead and throw them in there. We are going to continue with this conversation. And I'm going to say it again, because I know that, this is legal matters. Oh. Tonia is not your lawyer, okay? However, she'll give you some general information to keep you out of trouble, if I will. This one, monitor your...
Thank you. All right, how much time do we have? Okay.
I'm going to say like about, let's give it like 10.
No, I mean in general, because I could be on this one all day.
I know. We still have like three more. We got like 4 more to go.
This is the one that's so important. So we're always like, okay, so you have your contracts. You're like, I have my rights. I have my intellectual property rights. This is my trademark. This is my patent. This is my copyright. All of this stuff. That's fine. You're claiming everything. I have rights to this. You can't do this. We have a contract. Guess why you may not have a contract? Why you may not have any rights? Because you are not monitoring what's going on. And that means that if someone is violating your rights, first, wait a minute, you don't even know if someone's violating your rights, because you're not checking to see what's going on. So There are two parts to this, particularly, and I'll do this with trademarks and copyrights. I am an IP attorney, right? And this is one that really catches people, is that you'll sit around, you'll have your trademark, and you're just not paying attention to anything or the like, not looking to see if someone else is going to happen, if someone's using it or the like. And I'm not asking you to do this every day. What we do, and I could talk about this another day, is we are always assessing and knowing what's going on in our business at all times. So, especially if you're just starting out, each month you're going to assess and know what's going on in your business. But you're going to look around. You're going to, at the very least, do a Google search, Bing, whatever search engine you can go into. You are just going to put your name in it. You're going to put your business in. You're going to look yourself up. You're going to see if someone else is utilizing your rights. Because if you don't, 2-3 years go down the line, someone's using your name, then you come after them. Now, here we go to court again. What would Judge Judy tell you? I know, we got to do this. What would Judge Judy do?
Little rough justice.
Right. She was like, okay, but you let them get away with doing X, Y, and Z for so long. Why are you mad now? Like, how are you trying to enforce your rights now? And that's the thing. You can't enforce your rights if you aren't finding out what the violations are. And if one person violates and then they see someone else violate, they're like, oh, well, I guess this person doesn't care. So then, and now you got 2, 3, 4, 5 people doing it. And particularly we'll use like your trademark, for instance. Now it's diluted, which just means the rights that you had aren't as strong anymore because everyone's using it. This is what happens when you get words that turn generic, right? We're talking about Kleenex, right? We know that's a brand, but everybody says Kleenex. So Band-Aid. Think about that, right? Exactly. Like, especially we get into the one about Vaseline. Every time somebody said, no, it was Vaseline, I'm like, petroleum jelly. And they're like, what? I'm like, it's petroleum jelly. It is not Vaseline. You are not referencing anything. Really right. Exactly. So that is what will happen to you. And I'm going to put this in another way too that may help. So, okay, we'll talk about trademarks, but one of your customers does something, or if you have a community, this is where it gets crazy. And somebody has a little bit of a violation or something is going on. These things could be harmful. So you can have a Go Brunch community. I love my Go Brunch, but any type of like online community, and somebody's harassing someone, right? And you're letting this go on and go on and go on. You know what? You're going to be liable for what happens. So I want you to think about it in that manner too, because you're not monitoring what's going on. You're not paying attention to what's going on in your community. You're not paying attention to what's going on in your business. And then if you waive things, now sometimes, there are circumstances that happen. Things come up, there are particular things that you may say, okay, maybe not this time that you get in trouble, or maybe this time I'll give you a refund, but you can't continuously. So that's another thing. It doesn't sound the same as monitoring them, but then we're going to talk about enforcing them, because if something goes on and you don't enforce the rights, well, people are going to keep damaging, diluting, violating all your rights, all the rules, all your contracts. You're like, okay, all right, but next time don't do this, or things are just happening you don't know about. You don't have any rights. And that's why it's so important. So you're going to claim rights, but you gave your rights away. And you don't realize this. Your contracts and your claim of rights, even some of the things that are, inherent under the law, they only protect you so much as you protect yourself. Okay. So if you're allowing things to continuously happen, these violations, then you're not respecting your own rights. And therefore, why should you have these rights? Like, the courts are going to look at it like, okay, but this was going on. You should have known it was going on if you didn't. So why should I afford you this? Even if under law you may get money. So say you were supposed to get $200,000, you may get $2 because they were like, okay, you have rights. You have rights, but you know what you get? Your damages for those rights that you weren't paying attention to? $2 because you did not know what was going on. You weren't paying attention. And then the second thing, you just let things fly. You didn't enforce them. So your little contract.
That's a good one. Cause I was just thinking, I was looking at, I follow Actively Black. I love Black owned businesses. And it was about, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, he was sharing how Lululemon and Amazon, I think one other person was using their name on their website to promote stuff, knowing that it was misleading to other people. But he was very active on getting that taken care of. I'm still watching the story, but he was clear in saying, hey, they're not actively Black.
Right.
And they know what they're doing by using our name. So I get the whole idea of searching. I know I search for myself.
Yes.
And it's I want to know what's out there about me and businesses. So yeah, but I never thought about the whole rights thing. I have found some photos that were snatched from someone else's page that belonged to me and had to get them taken down.
Yeah,
I did find that by doing the search. So yeah, that's a big one.
And it's some work, but aren't your rights worth it? Like, aren't you? Again, you're only protected as much as you protect yourself. Like, just the paper, you're putting things together. You're putting your contracts out. They're good. But if you're not enforcing them, you breached your own contracts. You're worried about somebody else breaching it. You haven't done your part. You said, if I do X, Y, and Z, that this is what's going to happen to me. This is terminated. I will get sued. And you didn't do it. 1, because you didn't know, or 2, because you just let it fly. And you're like, next time. Then you breach your contract. Contract null and void, no rights.
But before we go forward, and I want to apologize. I knew better. I know that when you use an acronym, you should announce it. IP is for intellectual property.
Oh, yes. I think
so. Apologies. This is Tonia Fisher, IP law, intellectual property. So I apologize, crowd, for not telling you guys ahead of time. Acronyms, IP. Okay. So number 5. You're not too small to be sued and fined. I believe a lot of us feel like we're the little guy, or we're smaller and we'll just fly under the radar. Not so much.
I have to get after people about this one all the time, because especially no one wants to hear about the legal. I'm going to give you one thing about legal. Legal isn't about stopping you from doing something. Legal is seeing how far you can go before you may not want to do anymore. It's telling you this is the hard stop. You can go up to the hard stop. You can go past the hard stop. It's just telling you what's going to happen if you go outside the boundaries. So that is 1. Now, so when you're small, stuff costs money, and not the lawyers, but actually staying legally compliant will cost you money. There are things you have to have in place. So a lot of times they're like, we're just trying to get started. We're just trying to open up. We're trying to do this. We're small. No one's going to come after us. Oh, you are the main person I would come after. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it is just you. I don't have to go to a big company that has several people, several departments who are responsible, figure out who was wrong, what's really hidden, what's going on. You don't have anybody to hide behind. You don't have lots of paperwork to go through, or maybe I might have to hire an assistant to help me figure out what's going on in your books. Hopefully you have some books, but some of y'all don't even have books. So I don't have to do anything. I could just look at you and I'm like, you're guilty. So you have to understand that you have less to go after. And that's the thing where people, again, and some of us know this, you're like, wait a minute. I only got $250 on my credit card limit. This person, they're in debt for like $100,000. Why aren't you going after them? Well, it's easier for me to go after you for $250. First, you're going to be scared because you don't know if you have all of your stuff in place. You may not have enough money to hire somebody to help you out. So you are an easy target. Yeah. And you might be the test run. Let me see about going after you. Your stuff is more easily exposed. So do not think that they're not coming after you. And we have a big one with this with fitness studios. I'm going to talk about you all where you don't have your music licenses. And I know this for sure because when I had my fitness studio, ASCAP was calling me and I was like, oh, no. I have my rights. You know, you're saying I had 300 people. I had a Groupon. I don't really have 300 people. Let's dial this back down to how many people. But you would think that they had bigger fish to fry. No, It's so easy to throw you in a little bitty saucepan and just turn you around, boil all your mess. Because it's easier to find out what you're doing wrong because, again, you don't have the people to hide behind. You don't have the lawyers, the whatever resources behind you to fight whatever they're telling you you're doing wrong. You're just exposed. So, sorry. You got to be on your P's and Q's.
I've always wondered that. I wondered it because I thought there are literally people out here who have been skipping and skimming their taxes for years. And I remember I woke up and the state of New York took my last $100. They came and snatched it. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Yep.
Yeah. Because again, as you said, I don't have the lawyers and all that other stuff.
You're an easy target.
So let me get to these last two, and then we're going to get to some questions here. We have privacy laws.
Okay. This is a big one. This is a really big one. And this is something all businesses, no matter what you do, particularly if you have online, anytime you're collecting someone's information, their emails, anything that's personal to them, the privacy laws are changing and states are actually enacting more and more. California this month, it went into effect last year, the CPRA, the California Privacy Rights Act. But the thing is, in California, I'm going to tell you right now, if they're doing something, go with their laws because they usually have the most restrictive. But
the most.
The key is in this, if you are a consumer for anything else, so think about yourself as a consumer. Information gets out there. You are responsible for what you collect. Even if you're collecting somebody's name on a clipboard outside, you have a little pop-up. Where are you putting that? Are you putting that on a clipboard? My phone number, my address is down on a sheet. Somebody's signing under me. So now they have my phone number and address and everything else. What are you doing? You're exposing someone to, it could be dangerous or things like that, but particularly online, whereas people will have their terms and conditions and all of that. By law, you're required to have privacy laws. You need to tell people what you're collecting, what the reason you're collecting it for, where you're storing it, and how long you're going to keep it. And these privacy laws in these states, what they're doing is as a consumer, and you want this too for you, is to say, hey, I want you to take my information down. Who else are you giving my information to? Because we may be giving your information to another app for something that's helping us with our business. We may have partners and vendors. You want to make sure that your partners and vendors are taking care not to have your customers' information all over the place too. So you need to know who you're sharing the information with. So when someone asks for the information to be taken down or just want to know where it is, you can tell them. That's, to me, a lot of things with legal common sense. If it happened to you, you want to know, how did my whole phone number and everything get online? And if anybody's bought a house or anything, you know how. Everything, they will have all your information when you bought, what's going on. Some things that information gets out there, but you as a small business person, and we'll go through how Sephora got in trouble for ignoring when they kept saying, you know, hey, you have to do a little bit better with your privacy laws and things like that, that they're really cracking down. And each state has different laws. So someone's like, well, I'm not dealing with anyone in Virginia. Virginia just passed some laws, right? If you have an internet site, if you a website or anything like that, unless you're like, what if that person moves to Maryland? Okay, then you're like, well, I'm gonna have to. You can't be a customer anymore because now I have to do X, Y, and Z with your rights, or I only have enough for Virginia rights. You have to make sure they're universal. Try and figure out what California has, and I'll hurry this up. Let me shush it. But it's very important that you protect people's information and know what you're doing with it and where it's going, and be able to give it to them and let them know. So, just saying, I want to know what
California. California they are top tier. I remember helping somebody in California. Didn't want to give a name, didn't want to give a number, didn't want to give a phone number, address.
They don't have to.
How do we contact you? I'll contact you. It's like, okay, but why? It's like, so why order the pizza?
But you can tell them that you can't do like unless you give me information. Hey, I can't help you. I can't. You can't do business. But I'll tell you what I'm doing with it.
It's like, I need to figure out. Like, can I get a name? No, you don't need my name. It's like,
exactly.
Never mind, ma'am. Okay, last one, and then we'll get to these questions.
And
it's Trade Commission regulations. How do we stay up with that?
Okay, so this is important. And FTC is actually a Federal Trade Commission. FTC is really, really good. You need to look at this for your own rights, okay, to see what's going on. But there are a couple things that are going on as far as a lot of us are on social media. So how are we advertising our goods and services? Are we being sponsored by someone? You always hear that one. But a lot of times we collaborate with people. You have to let them know that maybe this person gave you money to do X, Y, and Z. If you're an affiliate of someone, right? You know how Amazon is. They're like, you have to have, I'm an affiliate of Amazon. So you have to say, okay, I am pitching this to you, telling you this is amazing. Yes, I do love it. It's amazing. But I'm also saying you can get it from Amazon. Why don't you use my link? You need to let people know that even if you don't get any money, you're getting some type of compensation. And compensation doesn't mean money all the time. It means perk. But compensation means you are getting a benefit. And that is what is the concern, that you are getting a benefit by pitching this to someone, okay? Because you want to be protected. Another thing is, again, with money, when you're taking someone's money, common sense, tell them how you're taking the money. Like if you have a gym membership or something, right? Each month I'm taking $30 out of your account. All right, I'm taking it out of your credit card that's going to stay on file. So this goes with the privacy laws, right? If you need to cancel, this is how you cancel. People, listen to me. And the FTC is, they're making sure that you understand this and you are complying. Do not make it hard for people to cancel their accounts. All right, if people want out, let them out. That's just a headache for you anyway. Let them say goodbye. Bye. Make it easy for them to say goodbye. Make it easy for them to know. I know people change their cards all the time, all right? That's why you get their bank account numbers, not just their credit card numbers, okay? Because people lose their cards and people lose their cards. All right, so you're going to do that. But you're going to make sure that people can get out of a situation without having to go to 500 different things, okay? And then you're going to tell them, let them know that you are taking money from them. And if their card expires and they get a new number, but it's the same number, and you just happen to keep, for those of like, wait, well, my card expired. Yeah, it's the same numbers. A lot of systems just allow you to be able to just keep charging. Here's the biggest thing that is coming up that people do. You give a free trial. You have to let people know this is a free trial. If you do not cancel within the 3, 20, 30 days, you will be charged. You will continuously be charged. Let people know that you are taking their money, where it's going, and what they could do about it if they want out. Biggest things. These are things, small businesses, things we do every day. But don't mess with the FTC. FTC.gov.
Don't mess with the FTC.
That's 500.
Oh my goodness. Oh okay. My goodness. Yes. Okay. So like I was saying, y'all, we want to give you guys as much as possible. We do have a couple of questions and some comments.
I'm ready.
Erica says, where's a good place for people to go to get general starter contracts?
Okay, this is a hard one because now the new thing, and I'm gonna figure this out how to do it too, but everybody is given these contracts, and you can see you can buy contracts, but you have to make sure that you're getting a contract for your particular business. And it's a contract, especially if you're not going to a lawyer that's creating the contract for you. That is the best way to go. You can't always afford that. And you see contracts, I know there are contracts out, like if you're a photographer, if you're a group coach or things like that. You want to make sure that it has all of the things that you need in it for your particular business. And if you're doing life coaching versus fitness coaching, those are two different coaching contracts. So if you see something that says coaching contract, does it really apply to your business and what you're doing? So what you'll try and do is find the attorneys that are offering contracts that particularly do it in your area of business. So getting the general ones, I would not get anything off of the internet. There's a whole, there are these companies that offer contracts. They offer bare minimum. They don't have half of the things that will protect you. So you want to make sure that at the least you try and talk to an attorney first. But if you do get these general contracts from your these attorneys, that they are specific to your industry.
Sweet. Thank you for that. Thank you, Erica, for that question.
Yeah, because that's
Haro, the photog says, what about the camera on photo issue? Use image on merchandise. Judge awarded her $50,000. Really? Oh, I didn't read it on that.
Ooh, me either. So,
well, I know that I don't know much about law, so I'm not going to pretend. No. But I know as a photographer, like if you take the photo, that's yours, even if it is of somebody. But I know it gets wonky with somebody's likeness and yada, yada,
And I was going to say, because I'd have to look that up, because there might be two issues that just because somebody took a photo of you, you do not own that photo. The photographer owns that photo. Now, if it was your likeness and they took a picture of you, and you did not give them permission to do it, and you were not in a public space where, you would expect a higher sense of privacy, then there's a sense of permission of like your public image and, your personal likeness and the like, as long as you're not in a big place. So I would have to look that one up. But if it was her photo and then of him and he used it without getting permission to use that photo, doesn't matter if it's of you. Yeah. Who cares? You got to get that permission from your photographer. Am I right? Yeah.
Amparo also says, I love how people act like they are hurting you by taking it down. Yes, take it down if you don't have permission. Yes. There were people who were taking family photos and put them on their website, and I was like, yeah, that's a no for Gwendolyn. Like don't take. It's like, well, I took it off of Facebook, but it's my photo. Okay.
Right.
So that's the no. Like don't go use my stuff like that. Like I don't. That's not cool at all. Aisla says the phrase "work for hire" is key in this.
Mm-hmm. So if you are hiring someone to do something, because then if somebody's doing this as an employee, a contractor for you, then what you are doing in your contract is saying that they've assigned the rights to that photo. So if I'm a photographer and this is and I'm a photographer within your company, not even someone you hired outside, we'll put it that way, that you're doing this. And this happens for professors of universities, right? And when you're creating all of this amazing sciences, medicine, whatever you're doing, you have signed something in either your employment agreement or you've assigned something with the work for hire saying that you've assigned your rights to your employer and you can't use it for whatever purposes you want to use it for. So that would be where the work for hire comes from. So be careful in those contracts. I told you, understand what you're signing. Okay. Employment agreement's the same. You were giving away a lot of rights when you go work for someone.
Yes. Read your employee agreement. So our last comment you're giving up. We've got Ron says, please, I hate when companies make it difficult to end subscriptions or delete accounts. Same. Erica also says, difficult to cancel, hard to update card. We might know some folks that we have had that issue with this feature program.
FTC is going after them now. There's something called ROSCA. So,
and I'm gonna, we're gonna leave this comment. This will be our last comment here. Aisha says, artists need to know this to protect themselves, and that is true. Yes. So as we close this out, because believe it or not, people, we have been here a whole hour. Just that fast. To close it out, what are the words of advice that you have for other small business owners, and how can we contact you?
Okay. So one thing I would say is, don't be afraid of putting your services, your visions, your innovations out there. Just make sure that you keep them protected. You have airtight contracts. You understand your contracts. Whatever you're giving out, you make sure that they're understood. Personal and business separated, okay? Treat your business like a business. On the side note, do what you love, but make sure you can make money from doing what you love. And then as you do it, protect it so that you can keep doing it. But don't be afraid of hiring an attorney. They are expensive, but that'll save you in the end. But in the sense of just making sure that a lot of the legal things that you think you need an attorney for are really business situations. So stay up on the laws, know what's going on in your business. I know I mentioned this earlier. Assess and audit your business at the very least quarterly. Do not wait to the end of the year. Try, if you're new, do it through the month so you'll know what's going on, if you're complying with everything, where your money's coming in and out. Those are if I tell people. And make sure people are paying you for what you do.
that part. Oh, Ron says, okay, so maybe I have one more comment. Ron says, this was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And I know we asked, okay, so I know you're on LinkedIn.
Yes.
We are connected on LinkedIn. I know you're on LinkedIn. Where else can we find you?
So you can find me on LinkedIn. Tonia Fisher is in Tonia Fisher. I'm also on Instagram, and you can find me at Fit Powerfully. So I'm at 2. So Fit Powerfully is easier, or Fisher IP Law, whichever one. Those are sort of interchangeable. And then my website is Fit Powerfully, FITPOWERFULLY.com. All right.
She's like, I got it all in there.
Yes.
We'll put it in the comments.
Yes.
Also, and
I'm a couple places.
Sean Anthony, who just got here. Yes, you want to get this replay. You want to get this replay because this is definitely something that I suggest everybody watch. Well, we'll share a couple of clips for you to bring you back, because this is one of those ones. And I will say this while I'm here. Hey, if you enjoy what we do here, because I have tons of stuff. I have like 3 podcasts, y'all, because that's how I ride. Sign up for the GRH Jack newsletter at grhjack.com. Because, sister got some stuff on. She got some stuff on her chest, on her heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to. I'm just kidding. Okay.
Everything you do is amazing.
Dr. Tashi, thank you for showing up. Everybody for coming in. Tonia Fisher of Tonia Fisher IP Law, ma'am. Yes. You did that.
I'm so glad to share.
Of it. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the evening. And I have an outro.
Thank you for watching another episode of Small Biz Bites with Gwendolyn R. Houston Jack, where we chat with other creatives and small business owners about their journey. And we also invite you to like, share, and subscribe to the GR Houston Jack YouTube channel, where you can get the latest and greatest.